going to start with our president of our club. This is Reese Calder. Reese is on a 1930 Oliver Hart's car that's been restored. It's a model 1828. Reese is from Grove City. He's been our president for the past few years, and he's done a great job. It's just that sometimes he has trouble driving his tractor, and so he has some helpers with him today. He has Weston, Maddox, and Quinn. Thank goodness they were available today to help him get that tractor through the parade. Good job, guys. Next coming up is an Oliver Model 1655. It's a 1973 and it's in original condition. This tractor is owned by Rick Weber from Grove City, PA, and he notes that he uses it every day on the farm. Today it's being driven by Scott Duncan. You might be more familiar with him over at the Jackson Center Fire Department. And Scott's another person that has trouble driving without some help, so his daughters, Olivia and Alyssa, have decided to help him today. And this tractor is being driven today in honor of Jesse Ayman. Thank you. Next we have an Oliver 1855 model. It was built in 1974 and it's owned by David Ziegler from Butler, PA, and he has restored it. He has a helper getting him through the parade today, and her name is Zoe. Good job. Next coming up is a rather unique piece of equipment. It's a Minneapolis Moline unit tractor. It's owned by Cyrus Wilson from Stoneboro, PA. It has a 760 Bailmaster mounted to it. It was built in 1957 and it's been restored. It looks absolutely beautiful. Great job. To imagine not having to have all the separate pieces of equipment. One piece and you're in the field ready to go. He's hauling a military wagon behind it. Now this fella coming up here used to help his grandpa get every tractor through the parade. But this year he's old enough to just handle it all by himself. This is a 1969 Minneapolis Moline 114 Town and Country. It's owned by Dale Elder from Clarks Mills, Pennsylvania, and it has a 14 Parker. This fella has the high beams on in his tractor. He's ready to do some night plowing. This is a 1948 Alice Chalmers C that has been restored. It's owned by Mark Bowman from Harrisville, PA. Mark has a driver sitting in for him. That's Joe driving the tractor. Good job, Joe. Coming up is a 1963 John Deere, model 3010. It's been partially restored. It's owned by Calvin Paxton from Grove City, Pennsylvania. This was Calvin's first tractor. It belonged to his great-great-grandfather, Glenn Buckley. Another tractor that is owned by someone in our club who's been a member for a long time. It's owned by Terry Mintier from Jackson Center, Pennsylvania. It's a 1957 John Deere model 620, and it's been restored. Terry spent a lot of years having help from this girl that's driving the tractor, and this year she took over. This is Megan. Good job, Megan. Coming up is a Farmall Cub. It's a 1948. It's in original condition. It's owned by Cooper and Parker Garrett from Grove City, Pennsylvania. This is their first tractor. Cooper and Parker have been coming to the show since they were tiny little babies, and they've grown up around the show and knowing how everything works. And this year they were a tremendous help to the registration girls. We really appreciate all their hard work. Cooper is his grandpa, Dan Weber, on a Model H Farmall, 1941, in original condition. Dan's one of our members. He does okay on the pool, but when he comes to the parades, he has trouble driving. So thankfully this year his grandson Parker stepped up to help him drive, because that's a handful of tractor right there. It's a Model 90. It's been restored. It's owned by Brian and Karen Woods from Fredonia, PA. He's driving this tractor in loving memory of his father-in-law, Frank McCann. Frank was a longtime member of our club. He helped in just about every area that we needed help. He was a great guy. we have one of our future tractor drivers. Right now his dad's helping him. This is Kyle Woods with his son. And they're driving a 1946 Oliver 80 road crop. Notice he already is wearing the correct hat. That poor little pot licker, he's going to have Olivers coming out of his ears. It's owned by his grandpa, Brian and Karen Woods from Fredonia, PA, and it's also in loving memory of Bonnie and Frank McCann. This is a Minneapolis Moline RTIE. It was built in 1954 and has been restored. It's owned by Barbara Vaughn from Linden, PA. It was a former Philadelphia City Works plow. Minneapolis Moline 1968 Model G900LP. And the LP stands for liquid propane. It runs on gas, not fuel gas. This is from Stutzel Farm in Slippery Rock, PA. It's in original condition. This is an Oliver Super 88, built in 1956. It's owned by Reese Coulter from Grove City, Pennsylvania. He notes that the Super 88 was the largest of the Oliver's road crop tractors. You'll see he has some assistants driving him. I think it's Weston, Maddox, and Quinn. Oh, look at her waving. Oh, how sweet. This is a 1938 partially restored Alice Chalmers WC. It's owned by Terry Mintier Jr. from Mercer, PA. It was the last year that they made the unstyled Alice Chalmers. You'll see that Terry has a helper. That's his daughter, Remy. Good job, Remy. Coming up is a 1974 John Deere Model 140 in original condition. It's owned by the family and grandchildren of the McFarland from New Wilmington, Pennsylvania. It has custom dual rear wheels and a Model 80 wagon with it. It's being driven by Gabby, who goes to school in New Wilmington, and in the trailer we have Ashlyn. Hi, Ashlyn. Yeah. This is Mia on another McFarland tractor. This is a 1979 Model 400 in original condition. They're from New Wilmington, PA, and this one also came with a mower deck. Mia is 11 years old, and she's going into 6th grade at Wilmington School. John Deere Model 110 that's been restored. Elena is from Jackson Center, Pennsylvania. It's a pulling tractor, and it's her first tractor. Jeremy Haig just went through on a 1969 Cub Cadet Model 30. Model 73, owned by Jeremy Haig from Cranberry, Pennsylvania, and that's in memory of his longtime friend, Bill Wesnick. This is a 1939 Farmall F20. It's been restored and it's owned by Jack Rinker from Prospect, PA. One of the last 400 of the F-20s that was made. Behind Jack on that tractor is a 1939 Farmall plow. And that is, I think that's his plow that he can go to the end of the row, pull the rope, and the plows will switch so he can go right back down the same side. John Deere 1968 Model 110. It's owned by the family and grandchildren of the McFarlands from New Wilmington, PA. Now this is one of their younger drivers. This is Wyatt. He is 5 years old, and his absolute favorite thing to do in the whole world is to watch tractor pulls. It was built in 1979 and it's in original condition. It's owned by Rick Weber from Grove City, Pennsylvania, and he notes that it is used every day on the farm. Today it's being driven by Scott Duncan and his two daughters, Olivia and Alyssa, and they are driving it in memory of their good friend, Jesse Amon. John and Sharon McGee of Mercer, PA. It's being driven by their daughter, Janice Mintier, also from Mercer, PA. Janice has a little helper with her, Robert, that's her son. He's going to be a fantastic Farmall driver. I'll bet he'll be a puller, too. His mom is, and his grandpa is. His grandpa. Janice and Robert is Don Rice. Don is from Volant, PA, and he's on a 1953 Farmall Super 8. He said that tractor was given to him by a friend. Don is pulling a Minneapolis Moline corn sheller Model B. Looks like it's in original condition, that it still works, so. Center, PA. This tractor has a 6-inch power block. Today, the tractor is being driven by Terry's granddaughter, Megan, in memory of her dad, Bob Mintier. She's doing a good job. Megan's another one of those who's been coming to the tractor show since she was in a car seat. It's amazing how quickly they grow up. It's also owned by Bill Quallis from Wausau, PA, and it has a Tecumseh engine.
Happens.
Yep.
This is a rather unique item. It's a 1980 John Deere Model 16, although you wouldn't know it. It's owned by Bob Stalker from Sandy Lake, Pennsylvania, and he modified it into a cute little barrel train. Riding with him are Quinn, Cam, and Cade. What a cute little contraption. This is a 1939 John Deere L. It's been restored. It's owned by Tom Hoopler from Fredonia, Pennsylvania. Tom's a longtime member of our club. Today he has some help from Cotton, his grandson. Next is a 1957 John Deere Model 720. It's owned by Rich and Sally Fink from Harrisville, Pennsylvania. Rich has been coming to our shows for many, many years. Both Rich and his wife Sally. Behind Rich is a 1969 John Deere Model 140. It's owned by Jim and Debbie Calder from New Wilmington, Pennsylvania. The driver is their granddaughter, Madison Lewis, and she is 10 years old. Also riding with them are Carly, Mackenzie, and Luke. Good job. If we had about 15 more of those, we could just take people on rides all around the show. Cub Cadet Model 129. It's owned by Ed and Melody Faust from Hadley, Pennsylvania. He said he bought it out of the field with the front end broken off. A lot of times with those tricycle front ends, you get them stuck and you try to pull them out and hook a chain around the front end and it just ripped the tricycle right off of them. So that's how he bought it, as is, no warranty. Behind Rich is his other tractor, which is a 1953 Alice Chalmers WD-45. In just about every parade Harrisville has. I asked my granddaughter if she went to Harrisville to see the fireworks, and she said no, it was just a tractor show. Okay, this is a 1951 Ferguson TO-20. It's been restored. It's owned by Rich Huffnagel, also from Harrisville, Pennsylvania. It has a TO-30 engine in it. John Deere, 1954 is the year on it, and it's a Model 70 gas tractor. It's owned by Bill Colder from Jackson Center, PA, and he's another person that just has to have a little help getting it through the parade. I don't know why these guys are so good at pulling, but they just can't get them through the parade without help. Coming up is a very special golf cart owned by Terry and Debbie Mintier from Mercer, Jackson Center, PA. And I would like to read, I'm sorry, it's taking me a second to find it. I would like to read the story behind this golf cart. No. Okay, the Frozen Chosen. As a cold cold front from Siberia crept over the Chosin Reservoir in Korea in November 1950, dropping temperatures to 36 degrees below zero. A force of 8,000 United States Marines trudged through the snow and ice-covered mountains trying to reach the port of Hungnam. On November 22, 1950, at 2:30 a.m., during a raging snowstorm, 120,000 Chinese soldiers swarmed the unsuspecting Marines. The wretched temperatures, combined with the fight against the Chinese forces, resulted in heavy casualties. However, after 15 days, the Marines successfully held their position. They pushed onward down a narrow road through several mountain passes and a bridged chasm until they reached the transport ships waiting for them on the coast port at Hungnam. The frozen Chosin was henceforth linked to the Marine Corps history books, forever memorializing their resilience and bravery. This cart was given to Terry by the family of Howard Eichner. It's shown by Megan and Remy Mintier, Terry and Debbie's granddaughters. It's ridden in memory of Howard Eichner and all the Korean War veterans. And we appreciate them bringing that and sharing their story with us. And that concludes today's tractor parade for this year, for this day. Thank you for coming, and please stay and enjoy the rest of the show. It looks like the t-shirt building is open, so get your t-shirts. It's their last chance to get raffle tickets.